This week on Boring Gear Reviews, we have the Red River Amplification Hexafoil. I'd like to thank David from Red River Amplification for sending me the Hexafoil. Red River Amplification is a pedal effects and amplifier company, and they are based out of Nashville, Tennessee. The Hexafoil is their take on the infamous Harmonic Percolator circuit. The Harmonic Percolator initially came out in the 70s from Interfax, and since then it's really gained like this kind of cult following. And over the last few years, it's really grown in popularity, which is awesome because getting a hold of like those original ones are basically impossible. So the Hexafoil, just by looking at it, is seemingly very simple. But what you realize is when you start playing it is how deep the pedal is and like kind of an immense range it has. So our first control is harmonics, and that controls kind of like the character of the distortion. And then we have distress, which is kind of like a second gain control, but here it'll kind of add in more artifacts or kind of a compression. It's challenging to characterize the two primary controls of a harmonic percolator. They're both gain controls, and they both behave quite differently. And then lastly, we have a blend, which controls the overall output of the pedal while it's on. Another cool feature here is we have 3 clipping modes. So in the downward position, we have the Germanium clipping, which is traditional to the original circuit. In the middle, we have no clipping diodes. And then in the upward position, we have silicon clipping diodes. And then over here, we have the destroy toggle. So in the up position, it's bypassed and isn't affecting the pedal at all. When you engage it by putting it in the downward position, you're misbiasing the transistor and you get all these crazy sub-octaves and harmonics and compression and kind of glitchy madness, which honestly makes for some of the most interesting and exciting tones I've heard in a long time. And I'll just say it right now, there is a setting in here that is one of the best guitar tones I've ever heard in my life. Stick around for that. For today's demo, I'm using my 1983 Greco RR65, and this has Creamtone A3 Deluxe pickups. All right, so for this first clip, we're gonna do more of like a, quote, traditional setting for a harmonic percolator. That's not really a thing. There were so few of those original Interfax units made, and as I've been told, they all sound pretty different, and everybody's take after that has been just that, their own take on it. So we're gonna have the blend all the way up, the distress all the way up, and the harmonics I'm gonna keep around 10 or 11 o'clock. This could vary quite a bit though. In the clipping, I'm gonna have it all the way down, so they're Germanium clipping, and then the destroy is gonna be off. About midway through, I will turn it on though. The first section, I'm gonna be on the bridge pickup, and then when I engage the destroy circuit, I'm gonna switch to the neck pickup. Octave pedals or octave controls really tend to prefer the neck pickup of guitars. And that doesn't matter if it's an upper octave or a lower octave, it really just seems to pair super, super well with the neck pickup. But both are great, and it's always good to experiment with everything all the time. Anyway, enjoy. All right, so for this next clip, we're going to use a more kind of traditional or classic drive or dirt sound. So one thing about this pedal that I immediately bonded with was that there's like no matter where you set it, from its kind of most tame and quote traditional to its wildest, compressed, glitchy, octave, whatever, there's like a clanginess and like a grittiness to it that I adore. It's so good, and you hear it really well in this example. So we're gonna have the harmonics set around 9 o'clock, the distress around 10 or 11. The blend is gonna be almost max, maybe about 4 o'clock. I'm gonna have the clipping in the middle, so there's no clipping diodes engaged, and then the destroy is off. About midway through, I'm going to increase the harmonics control, so you'll hear the drive increase as well. And this will be paired with the Chase Bliss Audio and Mara's CXM 1978. And this will be set as like a large hall reverb. One of the things I really gravitated towards in this setting is how punchy and clear everything is while still having like so much character. It's, like I said, it's gritty and clangy. And then there's this, when I turn up the gain, especially the harmonics rather, there's this huge push in the low end, low mid that just makes it sound massive. It's a great sound. And what's really cool is like, even just between these first two clips, you can hear how versatile this thing is and what a wide range it has. All right, so let's get weird with it. So we're gonna have the harmonics at noon, the distress about 4 o'clock, the blend is all the way up. We're gonna keep the clipping in the middle, so no clipping diodes, and then we're gonna have the destroy engaged, so it's in the downward position. And this is where we get some amazing, super glitchy, super mangled, almost 8-bit distortion. This is a sound, man, this is a sound I love. Like in my core, I love so much. It's super wild, super weird, and also incredibly interesting. Sometimes with pedals, when you can set them so extreme, they become unmusical. It's interesting to hear, but you're like, okay, well, how do I use that? Or where would I use that? Or why would I use that in the context of recording or in a band? And that is not the case with this. I haven't found a setting on here that I felt, I don't know what I can do with that. That's not usable. Everything in here is super usable and really, really awesome. We're also gonna be pairing that with the non-human audio slow loris. If you'd like to see a full demo of the slow loris, click the link up here. And this will provide a bit of a slap back and also a little lo-fi kind of degradation of the signal. And also because this is a dynamic pitch and delay pedal, the harder I play, the kind of bigger those dips and drops and warbles in the signal will get, which is super cool because there's all this glitchy stuff happening with the hexafoil and then all of this instability coming from the slow loris. But somehow they managed to still stay tight and defined that you still make out everything that I'm playing. Anyway, enjoy. All right, and that brings us to this last clip. And like I said, this is one of my favorite guitar sounds of ever. Ever, forever, all time, forever, one of the top, ever, one of the greatest. This is amazing. So we're gonna have the harmonics at 9, the distress at 10, the blend is all the way up. We're gonna be in the upward position with the silicon clipping diodes, and we're gonna have the destroy engaged the whole time. And that we are pairing, again, with the CXM 1978. And here we're gonna have, still in a hall setting, but with a ton of kind of cascading delay and reflection stuff going on. Obviously, I'm biased because they're my pedals and I'm playing, but like, hot damn, I could drown in this sound. And that's a wrap on the Red River Amplification Hexafoil Harmonic Fuzz. I think it goes without saying that I love this pedal. It's great. It plays well with others, and it's super, super interesting and exciting. To accomplish so much, to be able to go from gorgeous, dirty breakup with a ton of definition and push and punch, very amp-like, to very heavy distortion, to really gross distortion, and then to engage like all this compression and sub-octave stuff and glitching, plus, 3 different clipping options. To be able to do all that in this small box with only a few controls is pretty remarkable, really outstanding. Based on where you're setting this, you can easily cut through any mix or kind of bury yourself under to create huge walls of sound. The build quality is great. We've got top-mounted jacks and power. It's as simple and as amazing as it looks. If you dig this content, please consider hitting that like, subscribe, and notification bell so you get notified every time I release a new video, which is every week. As always, the links for everything I'm using will be in the description below. You can check out links for all the gear. Plus, I have links to my Bandcamp and Instagram. As far as Bandcamp goes, I have a Bandcamp for this, for boring gear reviews, where you can download just the guitar for every video I've ever made. And there's also a link to my Linktree, which will have all my streaming services and Bandcamps for the music project I release as Greyhouse. And you can also hit me up on Instagram, subscribe, and all that stuff. And I'll see you next time. Peace.